Competition is stiff at the Daytona 200, the biggest motorcycle race of them all. To win this most prestigious race of the year means money, fame, and points towards the national championship.
The year I won the race, and we were 1, 2, 3. And that was 1972, and that was a privateer effort. Yamaha did have a factory team here that year, and the new TR3 Yamaha had come in, the new 6-speed, and it was the right bike for a couple of years for Daytona, for sure.
You can feel the excitement and the tension. Daytona is a tough race to win. To do it, you've got to approach speeds of 160 miles per hour in the straightaways. Competition will be keen with some of the top names in the field, many of them ex-champions competing for the various teams. The race is nearing its start now, and there are the last-minute inspections, while the mechanics make the final adjustments.
Well, racing was very different in those years. You could ride any bike from a 350cc up to a 750, and so all of the new brands and models of the day that were coming through were all eligible to be raced, but tuners could go in and actually, you know, port cylinders, build pipes.
Racing improves the breed, and secrets learned in racing about power, handling, and braking are often incorporated into the production models. All of the major teams will be represented here.
Well, you know, after I won the first race in '72, that started the string of 13 races in a row for Yamaha to win the 200, and then they decided that maybe the Yamaha had won too much, so they changed the whole rule package from the kind of GP bikes that we were riding to super bikes, and of course it didn't take long. Yamaha was winning in that form as well. So Yamaha's made a big commitment to Daytona through the years. I think it's done well for them.
Underway. Looked like Garrett maybe moved a little early, but he didn't really get much of a jump, and a nice move there. Is that the 98?
Zemke on the outside of Bobby Fong. They both got a good jump, and that's what Zemke, somebody needs to get out in front of Cameron Beaubier and slow his pace down. That's exactly what they need to do here. Nobody's been able to match his pace all weekend, so this is going to be a different pace for him, something to have to deal with. This is what they did not want to happen. Cameron Beaubier, and you could see him pushing really hard to the infield right here. He's going to try to make the break, and he's got the pace faster than everybody else, so can they keep in touch with him?
P1 plus 0.8, P1 plus 0.8. Copy.
I mean, if you could stay in touch to the first stop, everybody gets to their clean, you might whittle away a couple of guys with a bad stop, and then the second stop is as much important as the first one. And then we'll see who's left to race it to the finish line. But right now, with the draft and the way it works at Daytona, Beaubier's not able to put down those laps that he wanted and get away right now. Right now, they're running in the 151 range, so we're 2 seconds off of what Beaubier qualified on the pole at.
Look at that run Gerloff got. When those guys got side by side, Gerloff, it was like he just found an 8th gear and launched, got down to the inside. But look at that, exactly what you're talking about. Those guys are 4 abreast. It is now a 7-bike train. Once Beaubier gets in front, he's able to just get a little bit of a gap for a moment. It's the draft, and that hauls everybody right back to him. But he has had some serious pace.
That's right. Even if you're the fastest guy setting the pace, you know, once you get back to that banking, you know, things can change and they'll reel you in.
Suddenly, Mr. Beaubier has opened up darn near a second margin on the group behind Scott.
Yeah, obviously he was holding back, kind of letting the full fuel load burn off a little bit, let everybody see, check everybody a little bit, and now he's pulled the pin right now. Fastest lap by last time, a 150.6.
P1 plus 2, P1 plus 2.
And looks like Gerloff has gone by Zemke. Yes, indeed. So he's made that pick. He's been working at it for a bit as well. He's got it done. But Zemke, nice drive out of the chicane.
You'll hold that at P4, +4 and P2.
Copy.
Back at Daytona International Speedway, the Daytona 200 well and truly underway. As a matter of fact, we are getting close to pit stop windows.
He acknowledged the inboard, and he acknowledged the inboard.
Okay, he acknowledged. He's coming in. I will put L19 for next time by at his house.
Copy that.
And here he comes, the number 8 of Gerloff, down into pit lane. Stops on his marks. That was precise.
This is so far right now, guys. This is a perfect pit stop. Wheels are out, wheels are in. Garrett's very, very calm, just like we've been talking about. Got to be calm during these pit stops. The gas is in, and he's on his way, boys. That was a fast pit stop.
Saw a perfect pit stop by the Yamaha Extended Program, the Graves crew. They are a top-notch team out here. It doesn't get any better than that. Those guys have been practicing that stuff, and it paid off. You had a rider come in calm, hit his marks. Everybody did their job, and he was able to get back on the bike. It looked just perfect.
Now we're going to watch his teammate. This is where one little bobble after Garrett Gerloff's crew got him out of here so quick. This is what can cause problems during this Daytona 200. Cameron brings the bike in nice and smooth. The crew goes to work. So far, so good. Looks just as good as the last pit stop that they just got done running with Garrett Gerloff. Gas is in. Cameron's on the bike. Boy, these guys got these pit stops down as Joey Pasquarella is back in the pits.
Yes, they can. These guys
That
get
was
it done.
super smooth,
Both
wasn't it?
of them were just superb. Well, remember we were talking about Cameron Beaubier building that little margin in case there was a problem in the pit stop? He didn't have a problem in the pit stop. Everybody else did. And Beaubier now up by 6 seconds. As we get back to the Daytona 200, Mr. Beaubier has just turned his fastest lap of the race, a 1:50.529. That margin now up to almost 8 seconds. This man is in control.
He is. He just like you said, he just kind of cruised around now. He's got some traffic. That's Elena Myers and Melissa Parrish that he's coming up on right there. Just going to lay back and get them on the exit of the chicane. No big deal.
+22 next time by, +22.
Yeah, well, when we talked about, you know, some of these riders needing a dance partner, this guy doesn't need anybody to dance with. He's dancing with that thing right now on the track by himself, setting the pace. He set the pace all weekend leading up to the race. He knew what he had, knew what he could do. I think he's just a brilliant rider. He really is. I mean, this guy is something special out of this whole field. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this kid on a MotoGP bike in the near future.
That good.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
His teammate, Gerloff, and remember at the top of the show, Gerloff said, I think I got something for him. I've been able to run in front of him here before, and I think Mr. Beaubier has answered fairly clearly that, well, find it.
Well, I like the confidence of the kid. And, you know, after hurting himself here last year, it's been a total rebuild, you know, mentally and physically to get back to this point, you know, where we felt like coming into last year, he was the guy that's going to be the guy to beat. But didn't pan out. He broke his leg, and, you know, he's really taking his time. He's so young, you know.
Well, and I would think the measure of the good time is as you're doing it, you look every time you go by that board and it's plus more.
That's right.
That's what you love to see.
Yeah.
And let's be honest here, this 15-second plus margin now is a two-prong attack. Certainly it's Beaubier doing a superb job on the bike, but when he made that break, opened it up, gave himself, what was it, 3-4 seconds, he got into the pits, that team stepped up.
All right, next time by, T2 +11 L3.
Copy that.
You saw a quick glimpse of the team's pit stops just a little bit early on. They executed to perfection. The riders have been near spectacular. And as a result, Beaubier now a 14-second lead. And boy, right now, that's a pit stop margin. So if there's an issue, he's got some protection. But the way that team has executed their stops, we would expect nothing less than another superb stop for Beaubier and teammate Gerloff, and that's coming. The teams are starting to set up.
Show L1 this lap, right? L1.
Correct. Next time by, L1.
Copy that.
Clearly, this kid was holding back a little bit. Knew he didn't have to go too fast in the beginning of the race, and you know you can really lose the race early in it. And so, trying too hard, he was able to calm down, and just when everything started weeding itself out, he pulled the trigger, and now he's way out front. And he's continuing to build on that lead as well. He looks aggressive, but he's really smooth. You know, he goes up to the brakes pretty quick, but he's got such a smooth touch and such a good transition from the brake to throttle. There's a lot of little things that separate him from the rest of the field right now, and that 15 seconds says it all.
All right, coming in, boys.
Did he acknowledge?
10-4.
Beaubier's teammate Gerloff makes his way down into the pits for the stop. And nice and calm on the marks.
Yes, he is. He's right on the marks, as you say. And this is where looking at your pit board during this long event comes into play. You realize you got a big gap. All you want to do is come in here, let your team know that you're in control. They've put front and rear rubber on this bike. The fuel's already in. The stand is down. Garrett's down. Another clean stop for this Daytona 200 rookie.
Hit out L19.
Correct. Copy that.
And here comes your leader, Beaubier, in. The margin after Gerloff's stop, over 20 seconds. Jason.
Boy, 20 seconds is definitely a nice cushion to have as Cameron gets off. He knows right now that he is close to becoming the next rider to win this race. Second time he's tried to run this thing. Boy, that is absolutely clean and perfect pit stop by this Yamaha crew. Really, these guys deserve a big round, guys.
I don't know how you could do it quicker. That was spectacular.
I don't know that you can. You know, they don't need to.
Good job, guys.
These guys all come into this race so fit and ready to go before the start of the year, but there's nothing like riding around the banks of Daytona for 200 miles and the forces it puts on your body. So when you see these riders coming down pit lane, just trying to stretch their legs a little bit and things, that's because we're not used to running this long of a race in our series, and especially with, like I said, the forces that these bankings create.
And in that tuck position, Jason, with your knees and you're in a locked position, your head down, looking up. I remember my neck used to get so sore, and my knees would too. You know, these guys are training on bicycles. Their legs are always moving. Here, they're kind of stationary. You're jumping from side to side of the motorcycle, but for the most part, they're kind of locked in a position. And you'll see riders sometimes stretching their legs out. And yeah, it takes a toll. You can't really simulate this kind of training.
23 plus 23.
54 laps in the book for Cameron Beaubier, and I saw one little bobble.
Yeah, he doesn't make too many mistakes right now.
Bye, no change. Copy.
And right now, Garrett Gerloff, he sits in the second spot. He's had a nice race. There you see his fastest lap, a 150.6, very quick indeed, but just has not been able to maintain the pace of teammate Beaubier right now. So he's got a solid second, 15 seconds in front of Bobby Fong in the number 50.
Working the last lap that came by. Snap.
What's going through your mind right here is, you know, unless something bizarre happens, you've got this thing won on this last lap. What's going through your mind?
I don't know. He's a calm character. Yeah. For me, there would have been a lot of yelling and screaming inside the helmet right now.
Plus 12, plus 12.
Copy.
And it's a special thing to win your Daytona race and to win your first one. And to take a Rolex watch home with you at the same time, it's a big deal for this kid.
Here he comes out of the chicane, out of the bus stop as they call it here, and he is up on that high line. That number 6 YES Graves Yamaha dropping low down to the double yellow stripe, onto the throttle, straightening it up. He sees the checkers. Coming around, Rapp lets him go, and there you have it. Beaubier has won it, and won it in dominant style. It's going to be a few seconds before we know what the margin of victory is such. And Gerloff comes by and picks up the second spot. So that YS Graves Yamaha team going 1-2 at Daytona as well.